Boom, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is your boy and the YouTube channel, Life as a Chad. I hope all of you are doing fantastic wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. Very fun clip today to go over and dissect and watch, my dudes. This guy, Andrew Tate, I already made a few videos on him, and honestly, I have watched a lot of his content in the past. I think he is spot on about a lot of the stuff that he discusses, but unfortunately, he did not have his best showing against someone who, in my opinion, was a pretty easy target, shall we say. And he did not have his best showing. If you're not aware of the clip, Andrew Tate went on these very popular Twitch streamers Twitch stream and went over a bunch of masculine stuff. They had questions for him. I think Tate was trying to hook up one of the other Twitch streamers with a chick who came on the stream, yada. And over the course of the stream, two leftist liberals, one a pink-haired LGBTQ member came on the stream, plus Hasanabi, also an LGBTQ member, question mark? No, he came on the stream, and those two talked with Andrew and debated. The main one that we're going to be going over is the one with Hasanabi. And for me, I think that it is worth noting that the discussion before the one with Hasanabi was pretty good. I think Andrew did okay, and I think he did well with his arguments. However, the one with Hasanabi was not as strong, and we will be diving into that. And without further ado, let's get into this. By the way, before we watch this, the chick in the stream, I think she is from Iowa. I think that's what she said. I have some close ties to the state of Iowa myself. Big Iowa Hawkeye fan, as you guys can see behind me. A big source of my happiness as well as my sadness when it comes to the world of sports. Dabble in that with a separate YouTube channel. So that was interesting. And like I said, the guy in the upper right-hand corner, Andrew Tate was trying to have him man up with this chick here sitting next to him. And that was pretty interesting to watch later in the stream. But what we're here for is the debate. So let's dive into this. I think the debate topic is so boring. It is centered around, are men better drivers than women? And I'm not even sure that that's the real question that they're debating. I think that is the reason that this debate went so wrong for Andrew Tate, because he got baited into a discussion about whether women are safer drivers than men. When Andrew, all he did was made the comment that he believes, or if things came down to it and his life was on the line, who would he want driving? By and large, a man or a woman, and he said a man. And I think this comes down to two separate things, two separate questions. You have on one hand Hasanabi, who will bring up the fact that women are much cheaper when it comes to insurance rates and things like that because they are safer. But due to being a safer driver doesn't necessarily mean that you're a better driver. And I wish, and I will give some points myself on that, and I wish Andrew Tate would have dove into that himself, but unfortunately he did not. And then furthermore, Andrew could have just said to Hasanabi, he could have just kind of made light of it and said, listen, dude, if you feel that way, great. No sweat off my back. Fuck it. I'm still going to think what I think. 100%, but if you want to think what you think, that's great, and just been done with it, and not got baited in emotionally the way he did. All right,
you can see crime rates going through the roof. We can see all the fucking school shooting, all this stupid shit that's happening because men have no emotional control anymore, and that's what's going to happen. Is the society's going to degrade, and the countries where men still stick to their honor.
Now, in fairness to Andrew Tate, it was late where he's at. He lives in Romania, and he probably was on this stream for like an hour, 2 hours, maybe even 3. So, I want to give the guy a break here.
And their age-old expected ways of acting, are there going to be a safer societies overall? So time will prove me right, but I have nothing against the guy. He's fine.
I think Andrew and the previous person that was on the call are just two sides of the same coin. They're both wrong, and they're both kind of right in different ways, but thinking that this has anything to do with gender is silly, all right? It has nothing to do with gender. Women can be just as oppressive and as brutal as men can be.
Agreed.
Ultimately, it has everything to do with capitalism, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the gender. The assumption that women are going to be...
I think maybe there's some truth to that. I would still say that in the modern West, and that's not really what this discussion ends up being about. In the modern West, I would say women end up being far more oppressive towards men and far more controlling towards men. And, this is where someone like me totally departs from a guy like Hasanabi, because, a guy like Hasanabi, no matter what happens, he will always see women as the oppressed. And I'm just not sure how you can say that in the modern Western culture. To me, it is so apparent that women run this nation. I mean, you needn't go any further than things like COVID and the mass fear and the mass emotional response to something like COOF or the medicine shot, I guess, as you want to call it. But anyways, like I said, that's not what this is about.
Like hysterical across the board, that kind of generalization is just incorrect. And that's why, Andrew, I've seen some of your work as you're doing the rounds on Twitch here. And a lot of the things that you said that you've been called out on, specifically in regards to like women driving, as a matter of fact, are just generally untrue. There's no...
As a matter of fact, and they're just generally untrue, as a matter of fact. And,
empirical evidence to back up those claims, which is why you resort to anecdotes quite frequently and say things like, oh, well, it's just common sense, right? But it's not technically common sense. It's just your personal opinion.
Completely. It's my personal opinion based.
Hasanabi tries so hard to be an enigma wrapped around an enigma, wrapped around another enigma. The dude, has long flowing hair, yet he's muscular. He's masculine, yet he's a feminist. It's all of these things that are just contradictions that he purposely tries to be. He's cool, yet he's a nerd. He's a gaming nerd. So it's all these contradictions, and I think it's on purpose that he does that shit. I think the dude's pretty lame. But anyways, we're here to debate the content of their ideas, not whether they are cool or lame.
Based on my personal biases of my life experience. Now, when I say these, exactly. And when I say these things, X amount of people agree with me and X amount of people disagree with me. That's fine, and that's the same of nearly any statement in the world. I can say the world is round, and there'll be a percentage of people who disagree with me.
See, he got himself into a corner right off the bat with the driving thing. All he had to do is say, make light and say, you came on this stream to talk to me about that, Hasanabi? You want to take up the mantle and fight with me about that, Hassan? And, just made light of it. Furthermore, if he didn't decide to do that, he could have said, well, listen, Hasanabi, look at Danica Patrick. Well, number one, me personally, as I said at the beginning of the video, I would have initially differentiated between safe driving, the skill that is being a safe driver, versus the skill that is being a tactical driver. a tactical, skilled driver. Anything that has to do with physicality and being faster or more efficient and things like that, men are going to be better because they are more physically capable. That's just a fact. I think Hasanabi would even push back against that. But the example that I would give to back up my stance would be, look at Danica Patrick, who went into NASCAR. Now, while she's an example that women can be an okay driver, she is also an example of many, many men who are better drivers than her. Now, she's also better than a lot of men at driving, but equal being equal here, competing on one racetrack with other professional drivers, she never won a race ever. And that's because, there's a certain peak, there's a certain plateau that Danica can only get to. Okay. She's only ever going to be so good when it comes to competing against men. That's why she never won. Okay. I would use that as an example. Now, again, I fully realize that on the same token, Danica is probably better than a lot of normal, average, everyday men at driving because she practices it a shit ton. But all things being equal, with other guys at her skill level, the other guys are better. The other examples I would give personally is semi-truck driving. Semi-truck driving, any school semi-truck driving teacher, and I myself got my CDL license while I was finishing school, and I wanted to go see the country, and I wanted to make some money while I was finishing school. Any teacher will tell you that men who are out there learning how to become drivers or semi-truck drivers will do it far quicker and far more efficiently than women will. Women don't even, number one, not only are they not as good, but they don't even want to do it. Okay. That's why it is such a heavily male dominant field. Okay. Furthermore, the women that do go and try and drive, they have a much, much, much harder time figuring out how to drive a semi-truck than guys do. I've seen that anecdotally, and I think many, many other people have as well. And I think semi-truck drivers, by and large, would say the same thing. Also, the field that I am in, the people that I supervise, who drive some of the vans, and again, this is getting too anecdotal. I fully understand that. The guys are always more skilled parkers, drivers, things like that. Okay. And I'm saying that to say that they are more tactful. They are, when it comes to getting from point A to point B in a quick amount of time, in a relatively stressless way, guys are better. Now, as far as being safe drivers, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if women get better rates because they are are maybe safer when it comes to accidents and not getting in them, I guess. But that's a total different question. That's a separate thing. And that doesn't really surprise me because men are aggressive. Men are aggressive. So that doesn't really surprise me in the least. Totally separate from, how fast a guy or a chick can drive a vehicle. If there was a course and you had to do it in as fast as you could do it and hit all the checkpoints and, figure out the directions in as quick amount of time as possible, I would bet on the guy 9 times out of 10. All right, let's keep watching. But the point is, Andrew could have pointed those things out. 100%.
That's totally and utterly fine. I come on here and talk about my own personal experiences, and my experiences, men are better drivers than women. I'm not saying there's no good female drivers. I'm not saying a female can't move a car.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm.
Because see, the problem is that the left always tries to bring this and this is what I would also do if I was Andrew, the left tries to bring it into what they call objective studies, which is total nonsense. People who are being honest about the field of study and research all know that it's not objective. Everything begins with a biased vantage point that gets you from point A to point B in a and the information that you pick along the way and choose to promote is filtered through your biased lens. Everybody knows that. And that's what I would say to him, that Hasanabi putting such a big emphasis on studies regarding insurance and the rates that women and men have and what those mean. I would say, Hasanabi, first you have to prove to me that studies aren't biased, that they don't have innate bias.
I'm saying there is a truth, and then there is your own personal experiences backed by anecdotes, right?
Because
or your own personal opinion backed by anecdotes from your own personal experiences. Now, your own personal experiences are oftentimes going to be incorrect and not close to the reality. That's why there's an entire field of statistical analysis. That's why we do empirical. That's why we rely on empirical.
Even numbers are filtered through the prism of bias and worldview. I don't know how else to drive home that point besides just saying what I just said. And this is why, me personally, I'm not an atheist, because I see what they try and do and put everything into what they call objective, non-biased, middle of the road, just facts. They're just facts. They're facts that 100% of people would come up with the exact same fact because it is just, it's objective. It's objectively true. And that is just total nonsense. It absolutely is. Everything starts with the worldview. All the answers that you get will stem off the starting point, which is your worldview.
Evidence when we're making decisions. Why? Because we all carry a bunch of personal biases. And when we analyze situations, we do not have enough scope to grasp the entirety of the situation. We cannot comprehend it with our human brains.
Bro, listen, I can comprehend.
Which is why when it comes to women driving, it's a funny point because the truth is different. The truth is the exact opposite.
Well, no, but listen. First things first, there's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. I'm sure you've heard that from Mark Twain. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you're deriving
you can massage numbers, but
you're deriving your truth from an internet study. That's fine. You can derive your truth from an internet study on a.
See, I would have pushed back on Hasanabi there when he says, yeah, you can massage numbers. I would have said, okay, then what are we talking about here? Why are you placing such a big emphasis on it then if you just admitted that you can massage numbers? But see, Andrew didn't really do that for whatever reason. He didn't, he didn't really go after Hasanabi, like he usually does. The fire wasn't there.
A bunch of different things. The truth of life is the truth that you experience as an individual. That is the only truth that we all live within. You live within your truths, I live within my truths, because these are the truths I've experienced as an individual. If certain things happen to you over and over and over and over and over again, but the truth on the internet says it's not true, that doesn't mean that your experiences are.
Also, I would even go a step further and say that the reason that we are in this world of that we are going more and more towards where there's 900 genders instead of 2, where anybody can be anything and that they want, because your truth is your truth, is not because of Andrew Tate's worldview, but because of Hasanabi's worldview. Because the reality is, you can find studies and numbers to, if that's all you care about is what you view as objective truth, you can find studies at I'mRight.com that will support that and build your case in the best way possible. But does that inherently make it correct? Of course not. And there are some things, I would argue, that do need a personal vantage point, our own human intuition that we see with our own two eyes, that our own innate right and wrong that we decide and make judgment calls on. Like I said, the best example I can give on that is the 900 gender thing, because with that, guys like Hasanabi find 1,000 different things, 1,000 different studies to back up his thing, when in reality, you don't even need to do all that. You just need to go off of, or you, in some circumstances, I think it's more than acceptable to just go, no, that is false. We know that because of the thousands of years of history that we have been going by. We know that because of our own, compass that we have. And listen, I understand that some people will push back on that. Oh, what else are feelings, bro? I thought facts were feelings, bro. I didn't say that shit. Fucking what's his name? Ben Shapiro did. Sometimes your own gut and your own feelings are correct, and you need to go off of those. Not always, but this 100% avenue of it has to be facts or feelings. And if you're a facts or feelings guy, which I know I say at the end of my video, I think it's important, but sometimes it is, sometimes you just do need to go with your gut. And I wouldn't even call that your feelings. I would really just call that intuition, your own intuition.
Any less real. So if you to come here and say the internet says X, especially
your
after
experiences can be real,
I
you
always
could be a statistical anomaly, as a matter of fact. You can be one of those people, but more often than not, more often than that.
Then I don't want to talk to you because I keep letting you talk and you're finishing your point and I'm trying to talk. So
okay, go ahead.
I'm going to. The fact that you're going on the internet, finding some study and saying that this is the truth, especially after the age of COVID and all the fucking truth we were told with that garbage, you want to sit here and say, oh, the internet said X. I'm sure the internet did. I'm talking about my personal experiences, and some people agree with me and some people do not. That is perfectly fine. Don't give a fuck if people agree with me or otherwise. People are listening to me and they're either agreeing with me or they're not.
But you're still wrong, and that's the problem.
I disagree with you. I'm not wrong.
Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep speaking into a hug box where people agree with you?
Prove to me I'm wrong.
Well, if you just completely devalue empirical evidence, actuarial sciences, the entirety of the insurance industry that relies on making these sorts of calculations.
See, this is a perfect moment to push back and go, okay, are we talking about safe driving? Or are we talking about effective, race course driving? What are we talking about here? And, like I said, Hasanabi totally dictated this debate. And I guess hats off to him. Tate had been on the stream for a while. I guarantee Hasanabi had, his argument locked and loaded, whereas, Andrew Tate is kind of going off the cuff here and kind of off the fly. And, so I want to give some credence to that. Anyways.
To ensure that these quotes are as profitable as possible, which ends up charging men higher rates than women, is a statistical likelihood that men are.
Yeah, Hassan, because men are more aggressive. But that just because they're more aggressive drivers doesn't mean that they aren't, by and large, better drivers, more skilled drivers than women are. So
more dangerous drivers.
That is what I would push back on. Now, I'm probably going to wrap this up here. And Abi, my guy, Abi, my dude, Abi. What's up, Abi? What's good, Abi? He is talking about empirical evidence and things like that. Listen, guys, it all gets thrown into the pot. That's what the answer is here. It's empirical evidence. It's also your own intuition. It's also real world experience. It's also things that you see with your own two eyes. It all gets thrown into the pot. It's never just one thing or the other. A guy like Hasanabi is a guy who focuses vastly on empirical study, and that's it. which can absolutely and is absolutely biased, massaged, and cultivated to fit narratives and worldviews. Absolutely. And I guarantee there's been debates where he's gotten to fallen into trouble with that, and has lost because of that, lost arguments because of that. Nick Fuentes, when Hasanabi went up against him, totally destroyed him. On the other hand, Andrew Tate, you can't just solely go off of how you feel, because I'll take Koof, for example. Andrew Tate, a big reason why Andrew Tate feels the way he does about Koof, and I agree, is because of the logical interpretation that he comes to with the data that he reads. I guarantee if he were to talk about Koof, he would bring up statistics of how masks don't do this, don't do that. We're not going to get into that. Okay. But he would do the same thing. So anyways, fun video. I think Abi probably won this. I mean, they really didn't talk about much here. It wasn't like a slam dunk. It was fucking a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation where not a lot was really said. Andrew, just kept wanting to move forward. I really don't think he was interested in the conversation that much. But I do think he missed some easy points to make against my guy, Abi. And that's all right. I hope that they can have a discussion here in the future, because I really think Abi is pretty easy to go up against, and we'll see how that shakes out in the future. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section. Did you think Andrew Tate had a good showing here? Not good showing? By and large, who do you think is more correct? Which worldview do you subscribe more to? Hassan, my guy, Abi, or Andrew Tate, Cobra Tate? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help a playa out. It definitely will make you feel good subscribing, like, comment, share. You know the fucking drill. I will see you goofballs, my dudes, later. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts are feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. See y'all. Bye-bye.